Welcome back to Rabid Noise. Joining me on the show now is the mastermind behind Sirenia, Morten Veland. How are you going?
I'm doing very fine, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on the show tonight. You're just about to embark on your first ever trip down here in support of your latest album, Perils of the Deep Blue, and you're playing two epic shows. Will you be playing a mix of all your material, or will it mostly be the new album?
We'll play a mix of everything, as we usually do on our shows. We try to respect all our albums, whenever we have the possibility to do that, with thinking of the length of the set. Shows we'll be doing in Australia as two headliner sets, so we'll do quite long shows, and we'll be playing songs from all 6 albums, but of course a bit of extra focus on the material from our latest album, to kind of introduce that to the fans and the listeners as well.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a really big treat for all your fans down here. What are you personally looking forward to about the shows?
Everything, playing in Australia is something that we've been, working towards and looking forward to for such a long time, and it always proved quite difficult to make it happen, I think mainly because of the great distance between us, Australia and Norway is like on the complete opposite sides, on the planet. So it's, for a Norwegian band, it's as far as we can possibly travel, and related to that, of course, there's high costs and everything, which made it quite difficult in the past to be able, to tour in Australia. So now that we are finally able to do so, it feels really great, and it's going to be a totally new experience for us. And everything I know and seen about Australia has been on the television, and I know it's a really unique and beautiful country, and it's going to be really, really cool, to be able to finally come down there and watch your beautiful country and take a look around, and also be playing for our Australian fans for the first time.
That's awesome. Well, I hope you do get a chance to explore the country a little bit and enjoy your time down here, because that is a massive trek from Norway, of course. On to the new album, I got to say, I love the video to Seven Widows Weep, with the mermaids and you guys jamming out on the rocks and stuff like that. That looks like it was just an absolute blast to make. Can you tell us about how that all came about?
Yeah, it's always nice to go to Serbia to make videos. The team that we were working with on that video is the ICO team that we also used for our 2 first videos, My Mind's Eye and The Other Side. And so we know those guys well, and we really like the way that they work. They're really professional, and it's always, as you said, a blast to work with people like that, and we are musicians and we're not actors in any kind of way, but so for us it's like it's a different experience, a different thing, and but it's always fun and interesting, and especially also when they're hiring different actors and stuff like that to put in, and when you're done with your scenes, then you're just sitting around having a beer and watching the actors do their work, and start imagining how everything will come together in the end, and usually they send us also a script up front for the video, so we can look through everything and get a vision of how it will be in the end. And if there's some things that we don't like, we ask them to make some changes or come with some input, some of the stuff, and in the end we have a script that everybody is happy with, and after that we take it from there, and start working on it. So yeah, it's really a really cool thing to be shooting videos, although it's not our natural habitat. It's something different.
Well, I read somewhere that it took 2 years to compose Perils. Being that these songs are so in-depth, how is the writing process for you? How does it all take place and start off?
Most of the time it begins actually with the guitarist or something like that. Whenever I'm at my home, I always have more or less a guitar in every room. So whenever I'm sitting down, or there's always a guitar within reach. And actually, a lot of times, good ideas can really just come out of nowhere. And maybe I'm just sitting on the couch watching telly and just jamming with my guitar, and all of a sudden I come up with something, and wow, what was that? And then I just immediately go right into my studio, which I have in my own house, so that's also very, very convenient, very nice for the productivity. So whenever I get an idea, I just walk through a few doors, and I'm in my studio, and I can sit down and start really working on it and putting it down so I don't forget it. So I'm just going from there and, coming up with a new riff. Then immediately my head starts thinking about how the rest of the instruments should be interacting together with that riff. And I imagine the drum beat and the bass line and everything, and I just start building from it, and then, trying to come up with new riffs that is fitting well together with that riff, and just building the song from there, and after bringing in the symphonic elements, and I make arrangements for the choirs, and starting thinking about the vocal melodies. And vocal melodies and the lyrics is usually what comes in the very end, because during the process of putting a song together, along the way I can get many different ideas to vocal melodies, but I never record them early on. I always wait and see which of the melodies is, sticking to my mind as the strongest. And in the end, when I'm, definitely sure about which melody is the best for the song, then that level I will, or at that time I will record it, to make sure that, okay, now I finally got the right melody. And I always think that, okay, if I forget a melody or two along the way, it's because they weren't significant enough, and so that's more or less the way that I work.
When it comes to your musical influences, though, who inspires you when, you're composing? Are there any composers or anyone like that really sparks your creativity?
When it comes to music, I'm really open-minded, and I can listen to everything from, like Johnny Cash, Nick Cave, Leonard Cohen, stuff like that, all the way until the most extreme black metal bands, and everything in between, and classical music. And I think that also is definitely a big advantage for me when it comes to writing my songs. And also the musical concept in Sirenia has pretty much been about combining all kinds of different musical styles into one big musical concept, and being so open-minded about music is definitely helping me a lot, and keeps a lot of doors open for getting new inputs and inspiration from different genres. And there's so many bands and artists that has inspired me in many ways. But I remember when I first bought my first electric guitar, I was 14 years old at the time, and I was a huge Guns N' Roses fan, and Slash, was my my main inspiration at the time, and I really loved all the solos that he made.
Yeah.
They were so melodic and catchy. A lot of other guitar players were just showcasing a lot and playing as fast as they possibly could, and using as advanced techniques as possible and all that stuff. I never really clicked with that, but with Slash, it was the melodies were so catchy in a way that they stick to your mind. Mostly when you listen to a song or a band, it's always the singer, the melody of the chorus, that sticks with you, and you afterwards you go around whistling the melody of the chorus and stuff like that. For me, with Guns N' Roses, I went around whistling the guitar melodies, and that's also an approach that I tried to have with my solos when I started writing my own music. That I didn't want to showcase anything or nothing like that. I wanted to focus on melodies, try to write melodic solos that could that stick with you, and that would add an extra melodic element to the music rather than just showing off.
Have you ever been approached for film?
I've never been approached directly. We made, or there was some minor films, minor productions that used some of our songs in their films, as far as I can remember. But, there was never a real film project, where the director or the film crew contacted me to ask me to write some music for a film. And I think that would definitely be a cool thing if that happened someday. It would be a challenge, something different for me to do, and I really like that. I love challenges, If a company or something ever contacts me and asks me about it, I'll definitely be interested. And if the project sounds cool, it's something that I will jump into right away, I guess.
I'd love to hear you score a film, actually. You're playing 2 shows on this tour with 2 of our own amazing bands, Nev Pearce and Orpheus Omega. But can we expect to see you come back for a full tour in the near future?
I definitely hope so, depending on how everything goes, I guess. If a lot of the fans and people are coming out to see the shows, and so the promoter also can break even and make a profit, then I'm sure that we'll be interested in bringing us back, and we definitely would love that. We love traveling and playing, and if the 2 shows goes really well, then I think that the possibilities will be great that we will come back in the future as well.
We definitely hope to see you back again, especially up here in Queensland. We'd love to see you come and play for us. So for all our listeners, you can catch Sirenia in Melbourne on the 13th of December at the Corner Hotel, and then in Sydney on the 14th of December at the Factory Theatre, both with the amazing Nev Pearce and Orpheus Omega, and tickets are on sale now. So we're going to go to the track 7 Widows Weep off Heralds of the Deep Blue. I just want to say thanks so much for taking the time out tonight, Morten, to chat to us, and I really wish you the best of luck with the tour down here.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure talking to you.